Greetings, all Shardvixen, and it's time for Know Thyself. Okay, I know myself pretty well. It's a good thing since I've been in my body for 50 some odd years. So today is not a good day for me because I'm already forgetting things. Today is March 4th. We're in a new year, a new month already. And of course, face doing the things. I woke up not feeling well, stomach ache, things like that. All right, so so this bright, happy cheeriness of myself is because I'm talking to you guys. Yeah. All right, so you see my faces. It's looking better. Not that you guys will ever see that, but it is actually looking better. But then I get these bouts that are not good. So the movie today, of course, as the title says, is Tank Girl. Now, I didn't actually watch it when it first came out. Just because I don't think it came out in theaters near me, to be honest. And if it did, in 1995, I was living in Sacramento, California. And struggling to make ends meet. So movie time would have been very short. What I remember in 1995 was a lot of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. We watched a lot of it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. My daughter was 4 years old in 1995. I was working for a nonprofit organization at the time. Actually, I think I was just finishing out school, if I'd be serious about that. And I was in the process of buying a house. So that's pretty much what was going on in 1995, 1996 for me. But if you think about when the movie came out, it was right smack in the middle of the 1990s, you know, and they now have their own. It always cracks me up when people talk about 90s music and 90s this and 90s that. I would say that Tank Girl is definitely a 1990s movie. So there are 3 reasons that I pick out movies. 1, if it's a comic book or from a book that I know, guaranteed. Always has to be sci-fi, fantasy is what I watch. Westerns are probably the second that I will go and see. Live action, maybe. And I very rarely go to the movie theater to watch girl flicks. I'm not really into love stories per se. I love them if they're wrapped up in a story that's fantasy. So this is our first Know Thyself movie. So that's why I'm giving you a little bit of backdrop on this. How this is going to go. So the movie that I will pick will be a movie that influenced me somehow. It'll be a movie maybe that represents what was going on at the time. But in this case, not necessarily so, because I don't think I got to seeing it until I'd say maybe 1997 when I moved. And was buying DVDs, or at the time VHS. So I was always buying lots of movies. And I'm going to guess that maybe I saw it on cable first, or rented it. Like it was a movie I rented. I saw it and, oh yeah, that's a movie I want to see. I knew of the Tank Girl comic book, wasn't really my thing. Again, very 90s style, maybe 80s. I don't remember when the comic books came out. I'd have to think about that. The second reason I'll watch a movie is the actor in it. I didn't know Lori Petty, except from that one that she was in with, I can think of her name now. Geena Davis. Now, I like Geena Davis. She was my favorite 1980, 90 star. A League of Their Own was what they were in. So it was Geena Davis, Laura Petty, Madonna, I think somebody else. Rosie O'Donnell, yeah. And I saw that movie with Tom Hanks. I saw the movie, loved all those people in it. But I wasn't really that interested in Laura Petty. I mean, she didn't like pop out. So that wasn't why I watched Tank Girl. And then the third reason of I will do a movie, and this is probably what most people do, is because you see the trailer and you're like, ah, that looks really cool. But I rarely go to the movie theaters to see that. I usually wait for them to come out some way to rent them. I was a big movie rental person. I started renting movies, I think, in when I was 21, I want to say. No, maybe about, it'd be earlier than that. I did probably about 18, 17, 18. I didn't know anybody with a VHS at the time because I was poor. I had a girlfriend, best buddy, whose mom was very into all that stuff. So she rented when the big giant compact disc things came out. And then went to VHS. So we watched a lot of movies when I went over there. I had a boyfriend who, when I was 18, he had one. So we watched a lot of movies that way. Got to see movies that I had missed in theater for whatever reason, age or whatever. I'm sorry. I'm a little uncomfortable today. My arms are bothering me. My legs are bothering me. I've got the wiggles. So I can't get comfortable. So it's kind of that thing. When I get a GoPro, maybe I'll do more standing up kind of stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'll do one where I can lay in bed and you can see my, like. Alright, anyway. So the thing I liked about Tank Girl when I saw the movie is it kind of reminded me, okay, I don't know how many people saw G.I. Jane. So it had that feel to it, and where a person could, a female, was being seen not in her, I mean, she's still female, she's very genderized, but she had that toughness about her. And so I think in Tank Girl, the crazy toughness that came across was like really cool. I think Lori Petty did an awesome job of it. Now, many people do not like her in it, and I think it kind of typecast her too, because after that you saw her in those kind of movies like really crazy, bad, crazy female. But I still think that it was a good movie, and it's a great movie if you like comic books, if you like the whole concept. So the people who created Tank Girl, which I didn't know about till later, of course, because I wasn't a Tank Girl follower. I didn't read the comic books. I think I read one or two of them when they first came out, but it wasn't something I collected. Because just because you have a really strong female character in a comic book or a movie or something, doesn't mean they're a really strong female character. Sometimes there's still this veil sense of the princess in need, but it's written in a way that's supposed to kind of like the person who dominates that person is going to be even more spectacular. And it's okay. I write stories like that sometimes too, but it's not necessarily an equality thing. And I like equality. I don't care if, I think it would be more interesting if you're a female who has the more stereotype of gender, soft, sweet side, who has that more vicious side that's strong and stands up. The thought that comes to my mind is, I don't know how many people saw the new Alice in Wonderland and the White Queen. She has that demure kind of sense of, but then the buck stops here kind of thing. I think that's the kind of female that I am, or would like to be. I'm not that way. I don't seem that way to other people, but I think that's the kind of female I would like to be. I do like the idea of Tank Girl, who's a kick-ass, gonna beat the fuck out of you kind of chick if you're a bad person, and is sweet and kind if you're a good person. But I think that it's still a very half and half kind of genderous statement. It's either all this or all that, when really all of us, male or female, are a blend of the stereotypes. And sometimes males hide the more feminine, and I don't like those words, but we're going to say them anyway, the more feminine side of how the world looks at women compared to the more masculine side of men. I think women probably to a degree do it too. They don't want to pull out those more stereotypes that would make them look dyke. When I was, and if I apologize if that word upsets anybody, but that's how the stereotype of that concept was when I was growing up. If you were a big girl who carried yourself like, very stolid and squat, you didn't have a whole lot of a wiggle and a walk to you, and a swish and a swash to you, the hips weren't doing that, and you walked, and you had flannel shirts. That always cracked me up, the flannel shirt thing. Short haircut, I wonder. And you know, you were into those more football contact kind of things. I think that that idea that if you were a badass, that's kind of badass you were. You couldn't be, so you had to be crazy, like in Tank Girl. She had to be this awesomely crazy ass female who was still into the, you know, being pretty and cute and everything, but she was like, woo, and that loud for that from that cute prettiness to that hardcore and to kick your ass. My favorite scene in that is when she's sitting in the airplane and they've got her handcuffed and she's insulting the guy next across from her, and he leans in and she snaps his neck. Now, realistically, maybe that wouldn't happen, but the whole concept of that, of using that Mata Hari kind of concept, if you guys don't know who Mata Hari is, it's the ideal of it's a famous person, but she was a spy, and she used her allure to get people to tell her secrets, but she could, you know, carry on her own. So the word Mata Hari is always used with the idea of being this alluring, sexy female to lure people in. And I think that in Tank Girl, that one part right there where she's so off the hinge, you know, she's like crazy batshit, kill me kind of thing, and she lures that person in and she kills them, because her vengeance is to kill everybody that killed her family. So, and then she's out to find her family. So that's the other thing, you know, the little girl. But I like the story. It is very kind of far-fetched. I mean, like, it's not just fantasy. Like, it has, you know, the kangaroos. Those are the kangaroos, and Ice-T is one of the kangaroos. I really love the kangaroos. Kangaroos are one of my favorite thing in there, even though for everybody else, they're probably like, what? But the kangaroos are really cute. And the kangaroos made very non-threatening for a time period in which the Tank Girl is like, she's like, what? You know, and so it's one of those things that, you know, it would have been done. I like the way it was done. There's nothing wrong with the way it was done. I just think that the rest of the world out there, for most people, wouldn't have been very interested in it. I would suggest younger people now take a look at it. It's still, the special effects aren't really great in it, but the interaction that Tank Girl has as she is searching for Rebecca is really interesting to me. And then when you meet Jet Girl, which is kind of funny. Always the Tank Girl, Jet Girl. When you meet her too, and her being that very mousy kind of hidden, like really mousy kind of shy person who wants to be like Tank Girl. Like she thinks that's giving her power. This ability to do violence gives her power. That in itself is really kind of interesting too. So kind of a side note here is that when I researched Tank Girl, when I saw it the first time, then I went out to research it and everything. You kind of find out that the writers and the artists of Tank Girl are also the people in the Gorillaz, the music band Gorillaz, who I absolutely adore. I love them. If I had the money to go see them, I would. Even now, if I could come up with the money, I would go see them if they were touring. I would have loved to see them, though, earlier on, because that's when you had the idea of the animated band members. So there's that connection there, and you kind of see an overlapping in the art style. So that's kind of cool. It does have kind of a cult following. If you go read the Wikipedia on Tank Girl, it's suggested that it has a cult following. I haven't really met many people that have seen Tank Girl myself. I've introduced a lot of people to the idea of watching Tank Girl. Just because I like something, though, doesn't mean somebody else is going to like it. And there's no guarantee that you'd understand why I liked it. But I think that if you want a good, fun film that's kind of funny, it's got some cute lines in it. It's Malcolm McDowell, and he's pretty funny. I like. There's that part where she she just, if you watch the interactions, they're just cute. They're funny, cute in that really dark, macabre way. You know, like when she's in the straitjacket and she wants to get out because it's really hard to play with herself in it. That is so, like, funny to me. Well, I guess it's funny to me because, you know, even if you were a guy, it would be funny. I mean, because you need your hands to masturbate. So that, to me, is kind of funny. And that's the first thought in her head is, I got to get out of the straitjacket because I really can't pleasure myself. Kind of shows that bat craziness. I think that when you have a time in your life where you lack control or you feel overwhelmed, movies like this tend to, you know, help you in that aspect. Sorry, my phone now does the Mario thing. Don't itch, don't itch, don't scratch, don't itch. So let's wrap. I'm gonna wrap this one up. So I'm trying not to, and I'm so uncomfortable. Just lost my train of thought. Anyway, so if you haven't seen Tank Girl, give it a watch. Come on to my Discord or leave a comment down below and tell me what you thought. If you thought it was stupid, that's fine. You know, it's not going to change how I view about it. If you want to talk about it, we could talk about it. It has heavy, at the time, it was considered a heavy feminist themes. I really think qualityness. Look at G.I. Jane, and it's kind of that time period of that. What else can I say about it? I don't know. It's just cute. It's a cute movie. It really emphasizes how lack of power and control I had as a child, that these are the kind of people I look up to. Okay, I wouldn't, you know, want to murder a bunch of people, but on the same token, I probably would want to be seen as a reckoning foe if someone destroyed my family or, you know, my lifestyle. And that's kind of what that movie represents, in a fun and sarcastic and nasty ass way. Anyway, so that's it for this. The Know About Thyself is about me, really, and it's my sharing pieces of me with you, and why these movies or art stuff, why they impact me so well. I loved her hairstyle in it. Yeah, awesome hairstyle. And for the time period, you know, very punk still. Kind of a punk kind of thing. Anyway, and clothes. The clothes are pretty cool. And so that's it. I'm out of here. I will catch you all on the flip side.